Yo, boys, back with another video. Yes, it is a solo shuffle, and yeah, basically, I've been thinking over a bunch of stuff. I've been watching a bunch of other YouTubers, and I actually ended up watching an asmongold video, and he was talking about how this one guy was like, he was not getting any viewership, and the algorithm was like blah blah blah, and then I was like, yo, and then I kind of like realized why he was talking about it when he was like, yo, when you're toxic about the game you're playing 24/7, nobody wants to watch that. So I'm gonna be less toxic, on videos and on the Discord and stuff. And if I get frustrated, because I really don't want to turn into a Crusader, and because that annoys me. I mean, Crusader is like, I mean, Crusader is fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but when you're getting spammed with 13 ads every 2 seconds, no, I can't watch it. So basically, when you're facing a sub rogue, ladies and gentlemen, so this guy thinks he's really good, which honestly, yeah, I went from all the way from 3,300 to 2890, and I actually ended up going 4-2 after or before this game, and then I done another one, which is this one. I went 3-3, and I actually ended up gaining 20 because I got my MMR up from the 4-2. Because as long as you can get 1-4-2, you can go 3-3, and you'll still gain rating because you're MMR. But as soon as you go like 2-4 once, then you have to gain all that MMR back. It's really annoying. So your main thing is do not trinket until he shadowy duels you. His whole thing, as you can see, I'm tracking all of his cooldowns. Until he clicks Shadow Blades, you cannot trinket. Either can your teammates, because you'll see what he does to my priest, and there's nothing we can do about it. Even if I Kenyan him after the shadowy duel, it doesn't really matter. So he ends up trying to pre-PS. The problem is I pre-vanished, so at this point he's pretty much dead. It was a really bad PS, especially since I was 100%. And especially, I mean, I guess he can't read my mind. But yeah, so at this point I knew he was dead. There was like, we either kill this guy now or he just kills my priest in a duel. Because that's all sub rogues do right now. And sub rogue is actually the best spec for solo shuffle right now for rogue in general. It's definitely the most broken. They just play this weird one-shot build all based around the one-shot. So they just kill him in a shadowy duel. Even if I tried to, kin him as soon as he got out, there was nothing I could do about it. And, it sucks that, that's what people can do, but it is what it is. But yeah, so pretty much this game is just me completely outplaying the rogue the entire game. And if I don't completely if you don't play the best that you can play versus these type of rogues, you're just gonna die. Like, they don't have to play good to beat you, they just need to get your trinket. So like, if you just use your trinket accidentally, or if they try to one-shot you and they'll luck randomly, get your, like, sometimes you'll be able to die in the opener because if you trinket a non-blades go, you'll just legit die. Then there's nothing you can do. So I end up, getting my bleeds up here. I end up disarming his disarm because at this point I know he's going to try to kidney me. He's going to try to stun or blind my healer, and then I'm going to instantly use my racial or blind or vanish. So I end up pre-using my racial and I stun him. So I completely outplay his go here. So his blind was useless. No, just kind of unfortunate because our priest used his trinket for no reason, and then our shaman used his wall for no reason, even though I peeled the entire go. So that's just gonna happen. I end up blinding the priest here. You're usually just blinding the priest to get trinket. That's really all that's useful. I mean, that's what every healer should be saving the trinket for, is legit blind versus a rogue. Now, I've started to use my death mark a little bit earlier now, so like, I used to be saving it. I'd save it till I got it. I'd basically do what the sub rogue was doing, but as assassination, and you can't really do that because games end up lasting more than 2 minutes, and then if you used it at like the first or second go, you would have already had another death mark. So you just want to be death marking off CD. The cooldown's really strong, and it's really hard output to heal through. So it's like, once you get the high dampening, it's like, they just can't heal through the second death mark, and you just absolutely destroy them. So yeah, either the first go or the second go, whether it's on your blind go or your sap go. So I end up seeing him, I kidney his kidney because I know he's going to try to sap off it, and so they don't get anything off this. And we almost end up killing the lock here, so we get a lot of cooldowns. And pretty much, I mean, we're really solid right now. I have Trinket, I have no other cooldowns though. And he still has Shadowy Duel and he has Shadow Blade, so we really need to kill him now. The thing is, my guy does have cooldowns coming back up, so that's, a good thing to have. So he has, Dome right now, so if he tries to Shadowy Duel it, really, we're at this point, he's pretty much just dead. Even if he kidneys him, he still has, he has PS, he still has Dome, he has Swap, he has Trinket coming up. and I completely outplayed this guy. He was getting so salty too. It was beautiful because he knew I was just completely outplaying him, and there was nothing he could do about it. Because obviously I'm the best rogue in the game. I outplay any one-shot rogue. Because obviously I'm the god of one-shot rogue. If you guys watched me in Shadowlands, I was the rogue that would Shadowy Duel kill you. No matter what it was, you were getting Shadowy Duel killed. That is me. That's the X-Vic. You probably faced me a lot, and you ended up losing a lot because of that. Nowadays, you have to run some dumb build to do that. But back in the day, when you're actually just sub-rogue done pure output damage, it was great. So this guy ends up pre-walling the kidney. So he goes the shaman. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, when you're facing a 2-caster, go the non-dwarf. Because guess what? If you use your death mark, he's just going to use his trinket dwarf. So do not go on the Ellie. Now it's good to, double bleed, sure. Double bleed if you want. But if you're playing with somebody, like with a sub-rogue especially, just go the warlock. You've already got them all. It's simple. So just don't do what this guy did and go the Ellie. Because had he went the lock, like here I death mark, because I think he's going to instantly kidney him, because we get, I kidney him here. Now I expect my guy to Shadowy Duel him. Because the shaman's on DR, I just death mark, he just needs, as soon as this wall comes off, instantly needs to blind the healer, so that he can blind the healer right now. It's off DR and he has blind. So he blinds the healer on my death mark, then Shadowy Duel kills. Because he has no walls, he can't live, he has nothing right now, he has 0 cooldowns. It's impossible for him to live right now. So I end up sapping off the blind, and my guy's nowhere to be found. So he ends up just racialing all the bleeds off like I knew he would. So, we get nothing. Instead, if he just Shadowy Dueled and used every CD on top of my cooldowns in a Shadowy Duel, he can't live. Even through that big wall, he would have died. Because sub-rogue Shadowy Duel damage is broken. So we end up absolutely getting destroyed here, because at this point we're dead. Thankfully I had cheat death. Usually I don't like having cheat death, but if I'm facing a sub-rogue, I always have cheat death. Because it's like the best thing to have versus, Shadowy Duel, because it counters it. Because you still get that 1 or 2 seconds of, live time. So at this point, we already know it's a GG. No matter what we do at this point, they're just going to triangle form. We have 0 cooldowns, and we're definitely not getting topped off. So at this point, the game's over. Really, we could just lose the game right now, and it wouldn't matter because the game's over. There's nothing we can do. That's the thing about casters, and this map, they got the best map for them for a caster, and they got the best comp for them. Ellie Demo is like insanely good. And I'm actually ended up lagging here a lot. I don't know if this was on this is definitely non-NA servers. So, this guy tries to go Warlock, I don't know why. So I end up messaging him, I'm like, bro, if you go the lock, we win the game. You cannot go Dwarfs, it won't work. You'll never get a solid death mark off. He'll legit just trinket and use his racial every time. It's useless. You never want to use your burst unless it's in a full kidney and they have no trinket. Sure, then it's not bad. Like, if they're in a full stun and they have no trinket, then you can. But why would you go in an LE with trinket and his racial up? It makes no sense. So, had he went the lock, we would have won the game, and he had blind. He saved blind for the next game, pretty much. When he could have just used it. So I ended up typing him mid game, honestly. Because, I'm like that, you know what I'm saying? So I end up pre-outplaying him again. I see my guy sapped. I end up pre-kindling him for his trinket. I end up holding my CDs here. And basically all they get is Dome there on a sap go. Because I completely outplay the rogue and kidney him before he can kidney me. So like I said, this rogue just gets completely outplayed the entire game. Usually every other rogue would have trinketed there, or would have, you have just, main thing is when you're facing a sub-rogue, you have to have 1 cooldown to get out of Shadowy Duel. Always. You have to have a cooldown. If you don't, you're going to die and you're going to lose. And that's how the game works. So here I know I can't trinket. Because if I trinket, guess what? I'm dead and it's GG. And at the time, my priest wasn't even really that much CC'd, so we were pretty chilling. Pretty much just double bleeding when we can and killing the rogue. Now, the rogue plays really aggro. He doesn't know how to, like, LOS. Like, he rarely does. Like, unless the priest grips him or, like, something like that. So I end up just throwing out the death mark because it needs to be thrown out there. And I see the rogue has still another Veniush, and he has a cloak. So he's probably going to CC my healer, and as soon as he actually gets rooted, I kidney bomb him, and he actually ends up dying here, because he's sitting in the middle, not doing anything. So at this point, my guy gets an insane lasso. He actually ends up surviving. I end up using my gouge. And he ends up killing me. That's where I'm going to trinket right there. Now, that was a bad trinket, and the reason is because he still has Shadowy Duel in his blades. So all he needs is one more setup and he will win. Now the good news is we do have dome up, so whoever he tries, he has to kill the priest. No matter what he does right now, if he doesn't kill the priest, my guy, the priest can just dome me. So his only option is either to land like a full kidney on the priest and then stun me, or he has to just full stun the priest. So like I end up messaging him care because I knew what was gonna happen. I was like, yo, he's just gonna wait. He's gonna try to get a sap off, and then he's just gonna try to one shot us. So at this point, we gotta rush in and we have to kill them. They need to die before they get the setup. Now my guy had dome. I end up free here, so I disarm on his disarm. And at this point, the rogue just I don't even know what he was doing. He ends up smoke bombing nothing, and then I just kinned him in his own smoke bomb. So actually, I kinned him on shadowy door, as you can see here. I'm pretty sure. I think I legit got it the perfect time. So I actually ended up kinning him on his, as you can see that purple like little glare on his character, that means you're in a shadowy duel. So I ended up actually kinning him right on his kidney and I completely outplayed yet again. And he ended up actually ignoring me. So, you know, it do be like that, unfortunately. So another game, another day. Now honestly, if this was on an NA server and I didn't have 100 world ping, which I'm used to like 50, but like usually I'll go up to like 150, like when I'm not on NA, like I guess everybody eventually gets there. You'll always get in a game, especially like if it's early. Like I started queuing this at like I don't even know. I can't even see the time. I started queuing this pretty early for my standards. Usually I queue at like 8, like prime time, which is honestly I get faster queues now than I do. You know, actually I don't even think he's shadowy though, because this guy has something on his character that's making him look, you know, like Darth Vader. So I guess he wasn't in shadowy duel. It kind of looked like it because obviously that's what shadowy duel. You know, that's how it looks whenever you shadowy duel somebody. But I guess not. So my guy ends up doming the kidney. So we're basically insanely good priest. So at first these priests were playing really sketchy, but yeah, as you can see we're lagging like a lot. Like the pets are going everywhere and everything because that's just what happens when you queue at a certain time. You only get lobbies in certain people. So like not only was I getting like did I have 150 ping here, but I also was facing a sub rogue, which is annoying. And sub rogue just the lag alone. I think without the lag, I think I would have won almost everyone, honestly. But honestly, you know, I take what we can get. I gained CR because my last one was 4-2. Usually I'd be losing 50 points for a 3-3. But thankfully I ended up going 4-2 and I got a lucky comp. I ended up facing like an Ellie, a Warlock. It's all the same comp you're always going to face is an Ellie, a Warlock, a Warrior, and then the occasional sub-rogue. And pretty much like the random BM Hunters, the random like Boomy, which is like usually shifted. And then like obviously the Frost Mages. Really, you don't see anything else. You see the casters. That's all the bracket is this casters right now. And then obviously you see the occasional good old fashioned, you know, warrior, but like other than that, like I've yet to face another assassination rogue, and the only one that I've ever faced was either at 2 KCR or it was Peekaboo. Other than that, nobody's playing Assass. And I think here we actually end up losing in the opener because the rogue just doesn't want to click, you know, cooldowns. And then these guys want to go priest, which is the worst thing you can do versus double caster. So I was like, bro, there is no way you're telling us to go priest. See, that's the thing about this. Healers just let the DPS communicate. I mean, obviously, he ignored me, so actually, I prefer him to say so. He ends up sapping the priest here, right? So it's a good sap. And then he ends up going on the priest. So why not just sap the Ellie? Like, I don't know. I don't know what this guy does, but obviously, you know, it is what it is. So here he ends up going priest, and then he blinds him, and then I'm thinking he's going to sap off it, right? He ends up DR fearing. So like we're all over the place. We've gotten 0 cooldowns other than like mini wall. That's it because we're going on random targets. My guy ends up dying in the opener because he doesn't click a single CD. So no cloak, no evasion, and GG's. So you know GG's, good old fashioned. That's how you get the good old fashioned 3-3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and yes, I'll make sure I'll be more positive in the future. Make sure you comment for the algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.